Today's topic, I have Darwin from True North, or no, where are you now?
Primary financial, but
Primary
life insurance
financial.
mercenary.
Life insurance mercenary, get that right.
Yeah.
And we have Ricky TV.
That's
Ricky
right.
TV, life insurance mercenary, are my guest today. Today's topic will be giving, the concept of giving, of the concept of servant leadership, the concept of putting things forward with no expectation in return. I think that's kind of getting warped in the social media world, and I want your thoughts on it. Darwin, please.
Sure.
Start there.
I would say, a lot of the times that people tend to mention my name and they say, wow, Darwin, like you talked about before, Darwin knows so many people, or so many people know who he is, of him. And that took time to build, first of all, number one. It's not going to be an instant moment where one day to the next you become IG famous and the whole business world knows who you are. Right. You're putting in your time, putting your effort, but the effort is the important part in the sense of giving. Mm-hmm. And so, going back into my military history, I was served in the Marine Corps, 98, 2002. And I feel that one of the leadership lessons I got from there was being a servant leader.
Okay.
Right. So
can you expand on that?
Yeah. So servant leadership. And there's actually a good quote that I've heard before. And I actually don't know the origins of the quote, who actually said it, but a lot of people tend to coin it. Mm-hmm. But it's, if service is beneath you, then leadership is beyond you. Right. So even whether you're leading a team, whether we're just working with clients, whether you're just a producer in real estate, mortgages, insurance, doesn't matter. Either way, you have to have this leadership quality so that people want to be around you, work with you, and eventually become a person that's going to be your fan and advocate, right? So servant leadership has helped me to build that, because I always serve others. And you serve others without necessarily expecting anything in return. Because if you're going to go out there and serve other people with an expectation that I have to get some kind of ROI on my service, you're not managing your expectations. You're going to be disappointed. And so on social media, what I've done, and I feel that's worked, is that I've constantly supported other people in my network, whether it's a realtor, whoever, it doesn't matter, sharing their posts, liking their posts, giving them feedback. It's in today's world, that's very valuable. I mean, How good do you feel when you make a post on social media and people start commenting on it? Right now, I know we're itching to look at our phone and we make a post to see who liked it, right? This is like the instant validation that you feel once you make that post.
And the endorphins start clicking.
Right, so just feel good. And that's actually, at this Netflix documentary, talk about social media, the social dilemma. Right. It's actually very interesting how there's also a behavioral science behind it, where it's almost an addiction. It makes you feel good that somebody likes.
It was designed to make you feel good. Addict you.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but that's okay. I mean, not to say that the addiction to social media is a good thing. It's not, because you still have to have offline conversations and things like that we're doing here, face to face.
This is the new networking, hanging out before my show. This is the new thing.
Right. For people out there, doesn't mean you have to stop networking with people. You just do it within safety guidelines, right?
Yeah.
Which we've done, because eventually life will go on and things will get somewhat back to normal, hopefully, in the near future. But giving and being a servant leader eventually comes back to you, but you just have to manage your expectations on it. That's the way I see it.
Right. Ricky had asked me a question before, and it's kind of piggybacking off what you're saying, and I want to expand on it. It's basically how do new people in the business, how do they crack into the business? And I was telling them to be of value, to be of service. What do you have? You got to look at what you have to offer and try to use that to somebody who might be somewhere where you want to be, to learn. And your ROI would be learning. Like, if you want to be that type of guy, then you got to be around that type of guy. And I think a lot of people are kind of missing out or misinterpreting things where, and again, Ricky said something else. He was like, you only see the good stuff on social media. And that's definitely true, right? Like, you have to understand that social media is used to I want to say, give you the perception that people want you to see.
Sure.
Right? So I think, especially the younger generation, because they don't have the interactions that we had when we were younger, hanging out on the block with the kids, or, on the stick ball, whatever, football, basketball on the courts. It's different, especially this year with COVID. This year, everything they see is on TV. Or their phone, and I have 2 young sons. I have 3 young sons, but the 2 that live with me, I have to constantly tell them, listen, this is what you see is not really everything there is, and you have to be able to differentiate. But it's really hard because they have nothing to compare it to, right? They don't know anything else, and we're gonna go in 2 more months. It'll be a year from lockdown.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
A year from lockdown. That you're not going out only if you have to go out, right? And you're not doing. There's like no extra. There's no extra noise. There's no extra distractions.
Right.
So, I know there's going to be an effect. I'm sure there's going to be some sort of study affecting this generation, and I'm curious to see what that's going to be. Rick, what do you think about that?
Well, I think it's a difference of entertainment versus reality, right? So we know that we can go on Instagram and get some quick entertainment, whatever that might be. And it's like, I'm just thinking, you're saying people post the best, but they don't post the worst. Sometimes you don't know the background story, you don't know the loot, the loss ratio to the win ratio. And I think it's a thing where how do we lead the next generation in explaining to them like there's levels to this. You can't just, not to get political, but you can't just walk up in the Capitol and not get a consequence.
Right.
You might get arrested.
Right. The FBI might find you.
You might if you're trespassing, because there's certain laws. There are laws behind that.
Right,
so it's like, if you want to get to a certain place, there's a procedure, there's a step, and I think that really giving is the first. You got the key made. Okay, you got to put it in the door. You give first, and then that's how you get, and that's how you build. That's how you get trust. And I think that's momentum versus the points on the scoreboard, like we said.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
What I've been seeing lately and what I've been doing lately is usually realtors come to me with like an issue deal. They never come with me with like, a great deal. There's always like an issue. And what I've been doing is actually troubleshooting underwriting for them and telling you, this is what I would do, this is how I would fix it. And sending them to wherever they were. I'm like, go ahead, do your thing, wherever it was, tell the loan officer they should do this and they should do that. I've been doing that, and I think that's getting people more endeared with me because they like that transparency.
Right.
I think that a lot of guys in the business sometimes, I've heard this from different real estate agents, where the loan officers try to keep it almost like a secret of what the client, how he qualifies, and because they're coveting it because they're scared that if things don't go right, they might lose the deal. And at the end of the day, everybody uses desktop underwriting. It's a program, and you plug in numbers, and you learn, you see what the ratios and what the risks are and what the merits of the deal are, and you can actually, fix things. And there's no secret to it. It's really that simple. But again, going back to loan officers that I don't know personally, but I'm sure they're out there, they don't know how to do you. That's the underwriting thing. That's in addition to the skill. That's like, I have the license, but do you know how to do this? And no, I don't know how to do that. So then you're just not at the same competitive advantage as somebody who might know how to do that.
And I would say that's part of your mindset,
Yeah.
Omar, that helps out because you come from the mindset, which is what people need to adopt more often, is the mindset of giving value at a zero cost to anybody, right? I mean, look at Gary Vee. Gary Vee always does these amazing content videos. He always says it. I can give everything away for free. Doesn't even freaking matter.
Yep.
I can give all this information for free, and still I don't have competition because just because you give it free means that people are going to actually take advantage of that information.
Nobody's going to execute.
That's why he's constantly giving out so much free info. And it's like when people say, "Wow, how do you even get any return on what you're putting out?" Well, sure, because people don't take action. Right. So that loan officer is coveting. And then that mindset is more of a scarcity mindset. Right. So we're all thinking that we need to hold on to our trade secrets so that nobody else can do what we do. That's the wrong thinking because that means you're limiting your belief in the sense that only this can happen, only this could be done this way, and holding it onto it is actually going to work out for me. It's actually the opposite.
Right.
If you give it away and you put it out there, you're sowing seeds and eventually you reap your harvest.
Farming. Yeah, absolutely. What do you think about farming?
I think that people, just to go back to that, and we'll get to farming in a second, okay. I want to backtrack with that. It's because point you're bringing up that's really good. People love to buy. They hate to be sold.
Okay.
You telling me that this might not work out in this deal because I have to do this and this and this, I may not be the right client for you. Thank you. Have a good day.
Yeah.
You created a situation where you're not going to do that to me. I want to buy from you. Right. People want to buy. And flip that. Okay, well, what can I do? Car dealership, what can I do to make you buy this car today?
Right.
Now you're being sold.
Right.
And I think that the new generation, that is a learned skill that you have to, after you see that it works, and you talked about the other loan officers being fearful, and they work out. When you work out of fear, your mind is frozen. You can't think clearly. You can't, if you starve an animal enough, they just flip out and they do things they shouldn't do. Irrational thinking,
Right.
Irrational decisions, and I think that's very important. So going back to farming, is that even the word farming, like we said before, the word farming is just not glamorous.
It's not sexy.
It's not sexy. But the anything with the image with a suit and tie is great. That's what is sexy. And I think that when the Wolf of Wall Street movie came out, that created an image of Wall Street, at least to this current generation. Some people already knew about that, and I think it was actually a remake, right?
No, it was original.
No, it was based on a
book.
Based on the book, right? So, and people see that image, and it's like, okay, well, that's what I want to do. I want to make the millions and the trillions
And live a crazy lifestyle.
and live the crazy lifestyle and drive the cars and have it all. But there are people that do that, but it's not the norm. When you go to play high school and when you go to play basketball in high school, it's not the norm to make it to the NBA.
Right.
It's just not. But you
And
can
even bigger than that, only 10 guys get on the team. So if you have a big enough high school, odds are against you, bro.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Just
You
letting
can
you
get
know.
in position to become lucky,
Right.
and to get to great
By
minor
showing
leagues
up.
by showing up, or you can get to the NBA, and you can do all those things. But you have to. I don't know how to get to the NBA. I can't even go there. But it's the same principle that there is a process, and it's not a overnight thing.
Right.
You can inherit a business from your father or mother.
And
you
run
can
into
do
the
that.
ground.
Exactly.
Right. Or you can flip it into an empire. Like, for example, talking about work ethic is where you talk about right now. Ray Kroc, right? The founder of McDonald's.
Right.
Now, his name is Ray Kroc, not McDonald's. He actually took the franchise from the McDonald's brothers, right? Paid him $1 million, told him to take a hike, and they left. Now, basically, that's a multi-billion, $1 billion a month company, right? But Ray Kroc, what he did excellent at was that his work ethic was consistent, and he constantly went out there and gave, and constantly went out there. And one of his quotes that I love using is that luck, because he's talking about luck is a dividend of sweat. So the more you sweat, the luckier you get. And so this is people talk about equity. It's also sweat equity, right? If you're ever looking for a partnership with somebody and say, hey, look, I don't have the capital to invest with you, but I'll work my ass off to earn a position of partnership with you, if that's okay. What can I bring of value? Well, I'll bring referrals, or I'll make introductions, or whatever it is that other partner needs. I'm telling you right now, somebody comes to me with a proposition and say, listen, I'm going to help increase your revenue by 18% this year. I want to be a partner with you, but I don't have money to invest and be able to start a business with you. But I'll give you the value in lieu of some kind of cash, but it'll be my sweat. And with sweat equity, you can build a lot.
And it's knowing that you have a good product. If I come to you, I have to know already that I have a good product.
You have to believe in your product.
I have to believe in it myself. I have to know what I stand for. Why does a McDonald's plop right down to a Burger King? Why would a McDonald's build right next to a Burger King?
Yeah, head on with it, yeah.
Across the street? Why would they do that? Because they just know they have a good product.
Right.
They're not afraid of the employees going over there.
Yeah.
They're not afraid of the people leaving Burger King. It actually helps their revenue. It's knowing that you have a good product and giving. When you create that dialogue with the customer or the real estate partner or whoever, that you give to them first, you can reap almost instantly. Tenfold.
Well, going back to what he said, right, in terms of the more I sweat, the luckier I get. It goes back to what we were talking about with you on social media, right? Like, you're doing a lot of reshares. You're doing a lot of just raising awareness for other people that nobody requesting, just because that's what you want to do. Because honestly, that's what, like, you're almost like being the person that you're being the change you want to see, right? So like, you're like, yo, if everybody did this, what kind of fucking juggernaut would we become?
Setting an example.
Right. And that becomes an authenticity thing, where you have certain people that are, they'll ask you to reshare something, or they'll just ask you for a client, or they'll add, and you're like, listen, man, I don't even know you. I'm sorry. I've had the conversation, and I'm sure you guys have had it also. Yeah. And how do you handle that? Do you tell them, hey man, I'll get you on the next one, or hey, all right, or you just don't? Like me, I just ignore it. I'm like, what? Okay.
I personally have to ignore it because I have a habit of offending. So it's like I will ignore it. But what I want to say to all of you, here we go, is that when you go to, let's backtrack and say when you go to apply for a job.
Okay.
Let's say I want to work here. Okay. I'm not going to come up here and say, can you please hire me? Can you please hire me? No, I'm going to say, listen, we're going to bring this to the next level, and I'm going to show you how we're going to do it.
This is what I do, right?
We're going to bring this to the next level. This is what we're going to do along the way, and I'd be happy to be a part of your future success. Let's do this. Versus, could you please help me and hire me and give me clients and give me leads to call?
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
I mean, I'll touch on it a little more. That's why you see a lot of loan officers or real estate agents jumping from house to house. Mm-hmm. Nothing's gonna change, bro. It's not them, it's you.
Right.
Like, oh, I'm not gonna be at Corcoran, I'm gonna go to Revis. I'm not gonna be at Revis, I'm gonna Rand. It doesn't matter, because if you're building your business within a business. And what people don't understand is that it doesn't really matter what the banner is. At one point in my life, when I was just doing residential loans, the client calls me up one day and says, "Hey man, make the check out to you?" And I'm like, "What?" I was like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Do I pay you monthly? You're the bank?" I'm like, "No, bro. The paperwork we sent you is the bank. I'm just the loan officer." And at that point, I understood. I was like, "Yo, this guy knows only me."
Right.
You could work at McDonald's mortgages. It doesn't. It could be shithouse mortgage. It doesn't matter, because if you give good service,
Shithouse mortgages.
it doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. And but they people don't understand it. They're always looking for the glossy.
Shithouse mortgages.
Compass. Oh, they have the technology. Yo, I don't give a fuck about Compass.
Exactly.
Yo, give good service and shit will happen for you. And that's what I see right now. A lot of these tech companies are becoming real estate companies. Zillow just became a realtor. I don't know if you know that. They went from marketing, now they're going after the money. This was gonna happen. We knew that, but you gotta stop worrying about that and worry about, how do I bring value? Mm-hmm. How do I separate myself? What do I do that people know me for what I do, but also who I am?
Right.
And I think that's a big game changer that people have to understand, because so many people are just busy saying, "Hey man, you need a mortgage? Call me. Hey, you gotta buy a house." Yo, who the fuck are you,
right,
bro?
Exactly.
Like, people like to do business with people they know. People they kind of respect, and people that they have like aligned vision with. That's the secret sauce right there, guys. So maybe talk a little bit more about who you are rather than what you do. Mm-hmm. And that's what I've been doing for the last year and a couple of months.
Yeah. And also about what you know.
Right.
You kind of make your eyes big, and it's like you have a confidence thing where you are telling us what you know, and it makes us listen to you. So go ahead.
Yeah, because I mean, we've done so well with your branding, and what we've done, I think, also is we create this trust. Like, that client was ready to write the check to you in your name for his mortgage,
he called
right?
the bank. So I lend you money from my
that's how
account.
much trust he had.
And that's that can be abused. I didn't
it can be abused. Sure, it can. That's what we have. That's what we're licensed.
It illuminated me into like, this guy only knows me. Like, a lot of people don't even know what company I worked for before I started my own company.
Right.
Because I never sold the company. I was not like, I work at Citibank. I didn't work at Citibank. But like, it didn't matter where I worked at. I was like, I'll help you.
Exactly.
That was it. I can get it done. People say, call Omar, he'll get it done. Mm-hmm. That's it. They don't, the how, the why, they don't care. Really, that's the brand. He'll get it done, let me call him. And it didn't even go to direct consumer, which I'm doing now. It went first to attorneys. Attorneys like, the deal's fucking stuck. Call this guy Omar, he might be able to fix it. And that's how my name kind of got circulated, as a guy who can close the deal. He'll figure out how to close the deal. He'll move numbers around. He'll do what he has to do to make it happen. That's how I kind of got famous with that group, and then then other groups and realtors. Just so, like, I created my own, like, me long enough. I'm creating my own vertical integration. Like, I have my own agents now. I have my own offices. I don't need nobody else. But they all share the same vision. It's about giving. It's about giving, because I believe in co-brokering. A lot of guys don't believe in co-brokering. I believe in that. Man, it's about velocity of capital. If we have a transaction worth $30,000 and we can close in 30 days, even though I'm splitting it at $15,000, I made $15,000. If I have it for 6 months, I make $30,000 due to division. You lost money. But people are not seeing that. Going back to scarcity mindset, they think about, I want to be on two ends of the deal. I'm like, who cares about, sell the deal. We don't get paid to hold real estate. We get paid to sell real estate.
Exactly.
And there's a big difference in that, Go ahead, note guy.
He's writing
multiple notes.
I was going to add something too, because you were mentioning about going out to the fact that people don't really realize what company you were with before, back in the day, before you started your own.
Yeah.
Because at the end of all of this, as professionals, especially comparing it to the whole McDonald's thing, we are the product, right? That's why that person trusts you so well. That people trust you, because it's actually you who are the face of that company, so they believe in you. If you left the company, guess what? They're most likely going to follow.
You.
They're going with you because they want you.
And
you're
to
the product.
Expand on that. That's the only thing that cannot be replicated, boys and girls. That's the strength. That's what people don't understand yet. If you build a brand for yourself and you are like, whatever, you're driven by success and excellence is what you're always striving for, your clients will rock with you, man. Your clients will rock with you no matter where you're at, no matter where you go, no matter what you do. And if you're not doing that anymore, they're gonna ask you, who should I talk to? Who should I speak to?
I recently was traveling, right? Just came back
You
from
in Texas,
California.
right?
Texas
Cali.
and California.
Okay.
Both, actually both. Okay. And I flew on United Airlines, right? I got on the plane like most everybody else, right? They give you a little sandy wipe, whatever. You walk in, I went to my hotel, put my luggage in the overhead compartment and sat down, and then just put my headphones in and watched the movie, and then that's it. Took off. Got off, left. Thank God we landed safely, right? Mm-hmm. Now, I already granted trust. There's two types of trust: earned trust and granted trust. I already granted trust to United Airlines because of United Airlines, right? Because when you think about it, I just gave my trust to a pilot that I never even met, who I don't know anything about, to somehow fly me over 200 miles an hour at 30,000 feet to get me home, get me to my destination.
And expected to go smooth.
I expected to go smooth. I expected not to die, land, and be okay. Right. And I granted that trust. Now, but I didn't ask the pilot, how many hours have you done? What's your experience like? Are you sober right now?
Interview?
No, I didn't interview. I just got in, put my life in the stranger's hands, and then got back off, right? Now, in business, we have the same kind of trust. Now, usually all of us are building off of earned trust. Earned trust goes a little further because the brand can change. Meaning you can leave companies.
Right.
But if you earn the trust of that client, that means that trust will go a lot longer. It's a longevity in terms of them constantly wanting to work with you.
And that kind of translates into your social credit, which right now is being used as social currency, which is on social media is becoming a thing that I feel is being a little diluted, and I want to touch on it with you. I'm talking to you guys about it particularly because you're very active on social media and you do things, and we've interacted. I met him, of course, we knew each other already, but I met him also on the cosign from you.
Yeah,
he knew
right.
you, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, all right, let's bring the kid in. Let's talk to him.
Yeah.
So people have to understand how that dynamic works, right? It doesn't start from, oh, I just saw this guy in California, come to my house. Think about that. But young kids are doing that shit. They're like, oh, I'm gonna meet up. You know, like I had one of my kids who wanted me. He was selling an Xbox. He bought like one of the extra ones. He was like, oh, meet this guy in the parking lot. I was like, what? I was like, hell no, bro. You set me up to get robbed. But they don't think that way.
Right.
They don't don't understand it's a real world out here. It's almost like that show Westworld.
Yeah.
We had the robots and the people in the real world. You ever seen it? Watch it.
It's a good one, yeah.
Well, sorry, more notes?
Well,
now that we got there.
Just thinking about what you guys are saying, so many good nuggets that have to be pulled out. I'm just pulling stuff out of what you guys are saying.
Okay.
And one thing I'm pulling out is the tangible versus the intangible.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody might come to you and think about the penny, the commission, the split, the this, the that, the dollars on it. And some people are so tunnel vision, and I get it, and it's good to hustle, it's good to make money. But the invisible thing about it is the power behind it. If you have a community of people that say, Omar is the man for it, Darwin is the one for financial planning. When you have a community of people saying that versus one person, that's huge. Mm-hmm. And the customer doesn't care who's getting the commission. And we have to remind ourselves of that sometimes.
They just care about the service.
And they don't remember exactly what you did, but they'll remember how you made them feel. Yeah. And if you made them feel that you can do what it takes to get the deal done, to secure your financial future, at least you made me feel that way, then I will bring you my whole family. How many cousins you got?
53.
I will bring you my 53 cousins, right?
Yeah. And usually there's the alpha male or alpha female that leads the pack, the tribe. And they'll be like, yo, this is what I did. Oh, well, he did it. You know, I got it's not even a vetting thing anymore. It's like, oh, give me the Omar package.
Well, because that actually, you said the word tribe, and it's interesting you said that. That actually is the mentality that we as humans innate inside ourselves have. Mm-hmm. It's a tribal mentality, because at one point when we were living in a society of tribes, right, we had to depend on the recommendation of one of our tribe elders or leaders to say, hey, listen, that river right there, there's good fish in there. They're over this area. There's been known to have we've been attacked by wolves and bears. Don't go there.
It's deep, but
so
it's true.
We expected the tribal elders to come back to the tribe and give us this information, so we know where to go, where to hunt, where to bathe, right? And that has translated and transferred throughout generations and throughout centuries, where now we still depend on this tribal mindset. And that tribal mindset has not gone away. It's just a matter, it just looks different now. We're not worrying about where to hunt or where to be able to fish or where to be able to make sure that we can live and build our homes and shelter. No, it's different, but the tribal mentality is still there.
I agree. And then you want to be around or associated with the people that you feel are your peers or people that you actually look up to, right? So We do a lot of stuff on social media where I wear particular things. I tag them only because it's the game of association. People don't even understand it, right? They see something, you have something, you're just then associated with it. And if it's excellent, and if it's shit. But that's why you got to be careful. Like a lot of my little sister's starting to do like her. She does a Monet thing, and she's starting to understand because all she does is Instagram, right? And I'm telling her, well, use this angle and do that. And she's like becoming very, very aware now. She's like, I don't want to wear, a certain brand. Like, can you get me some shirts? Can you make me some shirts? Like, I want to wear what we represent because at the end of the day, what people don't understand is that you're basically setting out energy, right? And the people that you attract see a similarity within their thinking and your thinking. And it gets funny because I had this conversation with somebody else where they're like, oh, I like that shirt you wore. And I'm like, it's all purposeful. It's all purposeful. I'm trying to send messages in different ways. And I think the best guy at doing it, or who kind of put me on, was LeBron. When LeBron beat the Warriors and he had the Ultimate Warrior shirt, do you remember that? When he came out the plane, he had the Ultimate Warrior shirt on from WWF. I don't know if you got that. I was like, oh, word. Like, but you have to understand how subliminal it gets and how impactful it gets to the right people. Because, like, when I saw that, I was like, he beat the Warriors. He's the Ultimate Warrior. I was like, hell yeah.
Oh,
hell yeah.
That's good.
So, things like that are what kind of raised my game. I'm like, oh, I want to do stuff like that. I want people to understand. And what are your thoughts on that? What do you feel that other people are doing out there that you think are separating themselves from other people? Because everybody has like a channel, right? We all have our own channel, right? And what do you think people are doing to get people to click on their channel?
Oh, I mean, you're a great example, man. Your content.
We put out
information. The content, the information, the way it's formatted, and the energy you bring through the camera. Yeah. That's important too.
Yeah, like I agree.
We're at our essence too. We're producers, but we're actually performers, right? I mean, if you take a look at it, we're a performance-based
we're like athletes.
Income. So we need to perform, and when we perform, this is our performance right here.
Right.
These moments right now that are being recorded are eventually going to make engagement with the entire public of people that we know in our circles, and they're going to see our level of performance based on this video, and based on this video and these recordings, they're going to say, you know what, that's the person I want to work with.
Yeah.
So we have to constantly.
There'll be something that strikes a chord that'll separate. That'll be like, oh, I gotta call that guy.
Right. And I think I would say for me, 2020 for me was, remember I just recently, at the beginning of this, you asked me which firm, and I said, you know what? Life Insurance Mercenary.
Okay.
That's it going forward.
You're the firm.
Right? Because I am the firm, I am the brand.
Right.
As a broker in my business, I represent several companies. I mean, a lot of the companies that people right now watching this video will automatically recognize.
Right.
Mass Mutual, Guardian, I mean, all household names.
Big
but
houses.
I never lead with a company name. Reason being is because I'm a mercenary.
I think people used to do that back in the day, especially when they started.
Sure.
They'd be like, I work for MetLife.
Yeah, I work for MetLife. I'm a New York Life person. I'm a New York Life
Mutual. It kind of gave you instant credibility.
Because they were trying to leverage the granted trust based on the brand.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
But now we moved on to earned trust, just like my example of going on a flight. Right. The earned trust comes now, and now I can say, hey, listen. Now I've earned trust, so I am the brand, and I am the person that'll be able to help you. I'm your mercenary. So whenever you're looking to achieve the mission of financial security, I'm going to make sure I put you ahead. I have no potential, technically any kind of financial tie to any company. Your needs come first.
I find out what's best for you.
And best for you. Right. So my loyalty is to the client, not to the company. Just like a mercenary is loyal to the client, not to a government.
Let's talk about that for a second before you go somewhere. All right. That's a really good example, right? So as an independent owner-operator, what I do in my lending is I have what you guys will call them banks, I call them investors, right? So they buy my paper. My job is to find the best fit for you, right? So that being said, to Tommy J out there or to Jane Doe, when you go into Chase or you go to Citi or you go to whoever bank, they only sell their product.
Correct.
Even if it's not the product for you. So just buyer beware, because that's a big thing. Oh, I want to go to Chase. I'm like, okay, they don't do that product, but I'm gonna check it out. Okay, they don't do that, and they go and they come back later. Hey man, they don't do that. But people don't understand that. People don't understand that, and I think that's really, really important. Like, know where your strength lies, and brand association is a big thing. But mortgages are up. They go up and down in terms of. Profitability for the investor, for the banks. Mm-hmm. So there's certain times when you see it pumping, and other times you go to, like when the pandemic first hit, you went to Chase for a loan. They said, don't bring it to me, please. Right. I can't help you. We're not lending. We're shut down. Like, because they didn't know how the pandemic was going to play out. People still need to buy houses. People still need to refinance and pull their money out. Business still had to get done. But that's just a really good, I wanted to illustrate that a little bit, because at the end of the day, some of these big houses have their best intentions in mind, not yours. And what you don't see is like, during a pandemic, yo, you're super qualified. I want to buy this house, my first time, my wife's pregnant, whatever the story is. We don't do loans right now. Go somewhere else to kick you down the road. But, you know, like, people they don't put it together, because it's not because they don't like you, it's because it's not beneficial to them. And that's what I think the consumer has to understand. You know, some of these bigger players do what's beneficial to them and not to you. And you're just a small peon compared to who their real client is, whether it's a Zillow or a really big house. You know, so I think buyer beware is a very important thing. I think that's in the real estate somewhere. I think I read that somewhere.
Sure. No, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Good stuff.
More notes?
Well, yeah, sure. Why not? So
I feel like I'm in Sports Center with two other guys.
skipping, what's the guy's name? Skipping.
Skip Bayless and my man.
The other guy.
I forgot his name. He's the man though.
But now, as I hear you guys talking, there's a saying out there that says, "Judge a business by the line that it has going out the door."
Right.
So you guys are, both of you are doing things to create a line out the door, virtually or whatever. But and the line may occur by people that know they can go to, like, people go to Amazon, they know it's convenient. They know I ordered my iron broke. I hope you can't tell. My iron broke this morning, so I went on Amazon and clicked to order one that'll be here tomorrow or Wednesday, coming from California, whatever. It'll
Wherever
be here
it comes
quick.
from, you don't care.
I don't care. But Amazon has, especially during the pandemic when everybody was ordering, the line is out the door, and you guys are doing the things that are, you're not making the cold, I mean, you know, cold calls, they have their place, but when you can talk to an audience versus one person, you're creating a line of people that need your services. As the tribe starts to talk to each other, don't go around that corner because the tigers will eat you up, you know, like, because Uncle Benny didn't come back. But I think that's just, it's so important.
I think the biggest, I just thought about this. I think a really good illustrator, and you can chime in on this too, is your following, right? Say you have 2,000 followers. Just make that up. There's 2,000 followers on Instagram, 3,000 people on LinkedIn, I don't know, 2,000 Facebook. What other platform is it? Twitter? Let's say another 2,000. I'm just using 2,000 as a round number. So it's 4 platforms, it's 8,000 people you can generate a message to, right? And if they really like the message, they can reshare it and then touch their people. Going back to when we were running chapters for the organization, for that organization, where it took an enormous amount of energy and teamwork and lost business to get 200 people in a room.
Right.
You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Organizing, and then there's the dynamic. And the part I really want to touch upon is that all this came at the expense of your business, which people don't talk about. And that's where I think the beauty of social media lies, where you can, this is another thing I talk to JC about all the time. This is like a legacy for me. Like, hopefully my grandkids get to know who I am. My great grandkids get to know, like, your grandpa was no joke. Like, look at this video. You know, like, think about how far this goes. The internet's forever. One of my IT guys told me, he's like, yo, I can find it. I was like, no, we pulled it down. He's like, no, it's forever. And he found it. He found something for me. I was like, holy shit. He was like, yeah, once it's up, if you know how to look, you'll find it. You know? So, I mean, I think people are underestimating the power of social media and doing real content. Like, real content, not just for the ask, but real content for making that common ground with people. I think going back to I think you said it, right? Like, you wanna date somebody, you wanna they got to get to know you first. And I think this is the fastest medium to get to know somebody in a very easy way. Rick knew he was coming today. He binge watched me yesterday. And he knew stuff that he wanted to talk about today, which is cool to have that to kind of refer to, right?
Sure.
So I mean, I have clients that call me all the time. Hey, or they text me, hey, I need this. Like, I'll say something in a video. I need this. This is what I need. And that's another offshoot of me giving out information, because you don't know what you don't know. So bank statement programs, no doc loans, those things that nobody talks about, they're available, but nobody's talking about it. So if you put it out there, you know how many times I get, yo, you can still do those? I'm like, yeah, they're being done. And you know, like, I have people that approach me for that. If you don't know about it, Chase not gonna tell you about it.
No.
You know, Bank of America not gonna tell you about it, because they don't sell that. They don't do that. And they spend, Rocket Mortgage spends how much a month, JC?
About 80 grand.
80 grand a month on Facebook ads.
Wow.
We did some math. Where I spend, like, on a good month, 1,000, they spend 80,000 per program probably. So they, you know, do the numbers.
Wow.
Yeah, so like understand like social media has become almost like TV back in the day, and the real players are really like there's a reason you see certain commercials on YouTube after you watch something. There's a reason for that. There's AI advertising now. It's getting kind of crazy, and people don't understand that yet. I mean, you ever look at something on Amazon and all of a sudden you get emails? Hey, if you like this,
Yep.
you'll love this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that it just the level of how you can find your client is getting that good.
That's right.
That it's not hard, but you got to put in some work. There has to be some work, and there has to be some direction to it because you need some methodology to the madness. Because if not, you'll just be fucking blabbering all day.
Yeah, exactly. It made the world, it made the entire world that much more smaller.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this way, that was one of the things that I learned from last year was that it expanded my territory in the sense of what the potential was for me to be able to get clients. And then I realized it's much easier now to go nationwide. A lot easier now because being virtual is that much more efficient right now.
Well, talk about Texas. You're over there because you got licensed over there, right?
Got licensed in
and
Texas.
why'd you get licensed over there?
Because I found a client in Texas, right?
go.
And then they decided they want to work with me. They happened to know me from years ago, and they
From
asked
Jersey?
me from Jersey, and they said, "Hey, are you still in the business?" I said, "Yes." You know, and that also shows that none of this what we do is overnight. It's longevity, right? It's a marathon, not a sprint. And eventually, you start seeing the benefits of that, where the business model tilts, where you're doing a whole lot of work, so you're grossly overworked and highly underpaid, right?
I believe that's the beginning of any successful business,
Yeah.
right? You got to lay out the foundation.
Yeah,
You know, you
yeah.
gotta have
And so then
foundation.
you start flipping it to where sometimes you become grossly underwork and highly overpaid, for what you
Right.
do.
Well, because the method of your work is different now. Now it's not about getting customers; it's about placing customers, and that's a challenge in itself. But it's a different challenge because now you're no longer vetting and farming. Now you're like they're bringing it to you. They're just saying fix this problem because if you can fix a problem, then you're invaluable. Like that's that. If you present a problem that you can fix, all of a sudden people look to you for that.
Because the state is the saying is the size of your check is in direct proportion by the size of the problems you can solve.
There you go. Yeah.
So the bigger the problem, the bigger the checks.
I like that. Rick, what do you got?
Well, I think this will be my last pitch in, but I'll say that I'm getting hungry. But I'm on doing Noom, so it's like you gotta eat lighter. But what I would say is that I think people underestimate the ability of power. Gaining power versus gaining a dollar. Power can help you stay in the game for generations. Let's forget about the next 2 weeks, the next 30 days. Okay, I got to pay these bills in 30 days. I need this to close in 30 days, so I got to pay for this. I want to just save. I want to get this $5,000 now. Okay, but what keeps you in the game? People in politics that can just make things happen because they're so powerful.
Right.
It's not that they're so good and they have good policy.
They got the plug.
They got the plug. They're so
Right.
powerful, and it's intangible. You can't see it. You can't track it, but you can do things to maybe try to make yourself lucky along the way.
Sure, and actually validates the fact that influence comes in different forms, right? So, for example, like I remember Anthony Delgado. He gave me this great analogy. He goes, "All right, think about it, Darwin. I got 250,000 followers on Instagram, but right now, if I make a phone call to somebody in some town in Jersey, that'll maybe get far." He's like, "But then you get Senator Bob Menendez to make a phone call.
That's right.
It's a whole different story, right?
It'll
All of a
get
sudden,
done.
things get done."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Believe me, I got way more followers than the senator in New Jersey, but that senator's been there for so long, has got so much political currency."
He's in the right holes.
That
Yeah,
it's different.
he's in the
Governor
right path.
Cuomo right now, you have more followers than Governor Cuomo, but if Cuomo makes a phone call right now somewhere in the city, open this place or shut this place, it gets done.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
there, influence comes in different forms, and we also I want to make sure that people don't neglect the fact that having relationships on the physical real world is still important, and you can still be done, and it should still be done, and keep it as part of your business practice.
In the last 24 months, you've been in. I have a certain respect for you, but I also have a certain respect for you that I would never do anything to cross Darwin because you've been in the same room of governors and TV hosts that are on MSNBC and heavy hitters
Right.
that you have power that you're in those circles. Let's forget about your product, which is financial planning,
Right.
but you also have that power component that now it's getting so much bigger. When Muhammad Ali was boxing, it started to get bigger than him.
Yeah,
When Jim
yeah.
Brown was playing football, it started getting bigger than him. He had to walk away from football, and that's what it's about. That's the long end game. It seems like.
Leverage relationships. Give more than you ask. And what else can we give? What else?
Servant leadership.
Servant leadership.
Social currency.
Social currency. These are all the topics. If you need to speak to Darwin Roman, where do they call you?
Darwin Roman. My phone number is 908-590-1653. And you can definitely follow me on all social media, Facebook, LinkedIn as Darwin Roman, and Instagram as Life Insurance Mercenary. It's life_insurance_mercenary.
Rick, one more time for you.
You can get me through Instagram, Ricky___TV, or you can just message Lewis and he can get you.
And I'll connect you. Yeah.
And it's a joy to do business with you guys.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. This is an honor. And
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Also for having us on the show. It's always a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Look forward to doing a lot more. Always have a good time.
Always fun. All right. We're out.